In this exercise, we are going to look at edit tools. The edit tools are often used in Revit when you're tweaking designs or making code and client revisions. For example, you will use the design tools, walls, doors, and windows to initially draw the project. Then we use the edit tools to move a wall so a room can become larger, mirror a cabinet so it faces in a different direction, or rotate the furniture per the owner's requests. You will usually access the various edit tools from the Modify tab on the ribbon. You can probably visualize what most of the commands do by the graphics on the icons. So, right here. However, if you want to know what a specific tool does, you can hover over that tool and it will tell you what it does, and then it will show you a video of how to use the tool. In this exercise, we're going to get a brief overview of a few of the edit tools by manipulating some of the tangled web of lines that we've drawn previously. So working with exercise 3-2, we're going to do a file save as project, and we are going to save it as exercise 3-3 Revit and hit save. The delete tool. It's no surprise that the delete tool is a necessity. Things change and mistakes are made. You can delete one element at a time or several. Deleting elements is very easy. You select the element and then pick the delete icon. We're going to try this on 2 of the lines in our drawing. While holding down the Control key, which is going to allow us to pick more than one line, we're going to select this line right here, and we're also going to select this 8-inch line up here. Now we're going to let go of the Control key, and we're going to click on Delete from the Modify toolbar. And now the lines have been deleted. Another way that you can delete, I'm going to hit Undo to put the lines back, is I can hold Control and select the lines. And I can also hit Delete on my keyboard, and it will also delete the lines. This time we will digress to take a quick look at the various techniques for selecting entities in Revit. Most tools work the same when it comes to selecting elements. When selecting entities, you have 2 primary ways to select them. Individually, which you can select one at a time, right? You can just click on it. Or select several entities at a time by holding down the Control button, or I can also draw a window around the objects. If I draw it from right to left, it will select everything. From left to right, it only selects certain objects. So if I tried to select that rectangle and I did it from right to left, see how it's grabbing these 2 lines here? But if I don't want those lines, I could go from left to right. It's only going to select that rectangle. You can use one or a combination of both methods to select elements when using, say, the Copy tool. So let's take a look at the Copy tool. So if I click on right here, Copy, this will allow me to select, say, one element, or if I hold down Control, I can select another, or I can draw a window to select multiple elements. Your book has some more examples of using the window tool and selecting multiple elements, so I encourage you to look through that. Let's go back to the Copy tool. The Copy tool allows you to accurately duplicate elements. You will select the items you want to copy and then pick 2 points that represent an imaginary vector which provides both length and angle, defining the path used to copy the object. You can also type in the length if there are no convenient points to pick in the drawing. We're going to try both next. So we're going to click Copy, and we're going to select the circle. And something seems to be a little wrong with my Revit, so let me restart. Okay, so we're going to select the copy command, pick the circle, and then when I pick the circle, I need to select how I want to move it. And actually, for some reason, mine's making me go in reverse, so what I'm going to do is pick the circle first, then pick the copy command, and then it's letting me select the center point. If you have the same problem, that's what you can do. So my first pick point is the circle, the center of the circle, and then I want to copy it to the end point of the line down here. So I need to wait until I see that square at the end of the line, and then click. And that places another circle. Next, we're going to select the rectangle. So I'm going to do this by drawing a window from left to right to select all 4 lines. Then I'm going to select copy. I'm going to pick an arbitrary point on the screen. So I'm going to pick my first pick. I'm going to pick here. And then I'm just going to pick an arbitrary point on the screen. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use the move tool to move that rectangle that I just copied to a specific point. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. We'll try that again. So select all 4 of the rectangle, click copy, pick this point down here, and I'm going to move my mouse towards the upper right until the 45-degree angle is displayed. So that's it right there. And then I'm going to type, zoom out so I can actually see it. There we go. And then see the 45-degree angle, moving it to the right. And then I'm going to type 6 feet and hit enter. And it's going to move that rectangle 6 feet at a 45-degree angle. Your drawing might look a little bit different than the one in the book because of how we place things, or mine even. Next, we're going to use the move tool. So the move tool works exactly like the copy tool, except we're moving an object instead of copying it. So let's try to move something. So let's say we want to move, actually let's move this line. Click the line, click move, select the endpoint. I'm just going to slide it over so it's not on top of the rectangle. If you don't have that line overlapping, maybe you could move another line or change something else that's overlapping in your drawing. Just practice with that move tool. You can always undo what you did if it's not following the exercise instructions. Now let's try the rotate tool. So with the rotate, you can arbitrarily or accurately rotate 1 or more objects on your drawing. When you need to rotate accurately, you can pick the points that define the angle, and then you can specify the specific angle. So let's give this a try. I'm going to select this rectangle by drawing a window around it, and then I'm going to click on rotate. What it does is it places the center of rotation. So right now my center of rotation is in the center of this rectangle, and that's fine. You can move this center of rotation. You could put it there, you could put it over here, you could put it on an endpoint, but for this exercise I actually want it to be in the center. So back to that. Okay. Now I want to rotate this so it's at 90 degrees. So first I'm going to point this upwards. I'm going to click. And then I'm going to move my mouse until I say 90 degrees. And then I'm going to click again. Try not to make jerky movements with your mouse. That will modify those angles. Now we're going to do the same thing again, except for we're going to use a different center of rotation. So we're going to select the rectangle again. Mine's already selected. And we're going to pick rotate. This time we're going to place the center of rotation, and we're going to move it to the side here. I'm going to pick my horizontal reference line, so I'm going to click, and then I'm going to move my mouse downward. I'm going to type 22.5 and then hit enter, and I will place that at 22.5. degrees. The scale tool. So the scale tool has similar steps to the rotate tool. First, you select what you want to scale or resize, specify a scale factor, and then you pick the base point. The scale factor can be provided by picks on the screen or entering a numerical scale factor. Let's try to use the scale tool to adjust the size of this circle near the bottom of the page, so this circle. I'm going to zoom in on this. So if you want to pan, if you hold down your mouse wheel, you can pan across the drawing, and then you can use the mouse wheel to zoom in on an area that you're working on. And I suggest doing this because sometimes it's hard to see things when they're so zoomed out. So we're going to select the bottom circle, and then we're going to select the scale tool. In the options bar, we're going to specify a numerical scale of 0.5. And this will make the circle half its size. So then I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to click on the origin. So I'm going to select the center of the circle. And now that reduced it to 0.5. Your book walks you through center of rotation and base point a little bit more. So please take a look at learning about the center of rotation so that you can make sure that you're rotating objects properly. In the next video, we will review the annotation.